And hello, everybody. Seth Cole here, and welcome to a special presentation. We are nearing the end of the Season 9 Mobile 1 and Snickers Cup Series. The Season 9 finale for Mobile will be up at 7 o'clock tonight, and the Snickers Cup Series finale at Zenjoltis up at 7 o'clock tomorrow. But we got a special little episode here for you today. Four drivers made it into the Final Four after Talladega Superspeedway last week, and those four drivers are in the hunt for the championship here in Season 9 in Snickers Cup. And we're having a special press conference here today with all four of those competitors. Driver of the number 23 Mitsubishi, Brandon Gonzalez. Driver of the number 3 Chevrolet, Michael Norman. Driver of the number 03 Chevrolet, Charles Sanford. And the defending champion, driver of the number 72 Chevrolet, John Cittadino. Guys, thanks for joining me here for this.
No problem, Seth.
It's good.
Great to be here.
John, how's it feel to be the only driver without a 3 in your number?
It feels pretty good because I'm not a particular Earnhardt fan, so.
No, that's his jinx. He's going for his third title, and he doesn't have a number 3 in his name. So
Well, no, I'm gonna get
Illuminati.
the number 3. I'm gonna get the number 3 today.
All right, so you know what? I was actually looking back through the record books and everything, and one interesting thing that I noticed is we've got a poll on who people think is going to win the championship, and I was trying to look and see who has a decided advantage coming into this race at Zenjoltis, and the interesting thing I found was all four of you have really good resumes at restrictor plate tracks. Cittadino, of course, you've got a Truck Series and Snickers Cup Series win at Zenjoltis. Sanford, you're just coming off a restrictor plate win at Talladega. You also won at Armory Digital earlier on this season. Brandon, your first career Snickers Cup Series win came at Talladega, and Michael, you won at Daytona at the beginning of the chase. So you guys know how to get around a restrictor plate track.
I've also won numerous Talladega races, and I've won a race at Zenjoltis, and I've won lots of races at Talladega too.
And I also forgot
way
to
to
mention
brag,
that
Michael.
Charles Sanford is also a former Daytona 500 winner too. So
Yeah.
Oh,
here's the big question for you guys though. You're good at restrictor plate track racing, but how do you prepare for Zenjoltis?
Well, honestly, you don't do a whole lot different. I mean, Zenjoltis is just another natural beast in super speedway racing, where unfortunately you can go 6 wide instead of like a normal 4 wide, and still be able to make it.
Usually on the night before the Zenjoltis race, I usually go out into the wilderness, just set up a tent, and I just, focus and get ready, primed, start howling at the moon. That's what gets you ready for Zenjoltis, because that's a whole new beast when you're on the racetrack.
we got Mr. Comedy over here.
God,
This is a legit strategy, Michael.
that's totally what he did. I actually saw him going out there last night.
What
Stalker.
you gotta do.
All right, Michael, Brandon, how about you guys? How do you prepare for this track?
Well, see, for me, being how I actually love road courses, super speedways. So apparently, I'm already not in the correct mindset. But I'm ready to go road
Hey, this just in the 3 is out.
Turn
Come
right
to
at
turn
the
one,
start.
turn right.
Oh crap! Hey, there goes the field.
Where's the dog leg?
No, but for super speedways, it's in plate racing. Well, actually, technically, this wouldn't be called plate racing because there's no plates, there's no restrictor plates. But pretty much what you want to do is I'm gonna be cycling. That's probably most likely what I'll be doing. I'll be cycling. I'll try to see how long it takes me, depending on where I qualify later today. I'll probably be cycling, try to get to the front, and then go to the back, and then try to come back to the front. I mean, I know the way the racing here is at Zenjoltis because we've seen massive wrecks and flips and accidents. So you never know exactly what's going to happen. So I'm just going to try my best to stay away from the middle of the pack, or at least try to stay away from all the wrecks, because I know we'll be going 7, 8 wide here and all trying to battle for position. So I'm just going to try to keep my car clean as much as I can throughout the race.
All right, how about you, Brandon?
Okay, so here's what I do. The night before the race, I eat a big meal, okay? I eat a really big meal so that I don't get distracted by having to get all hungry and stuff during the race. When you're in the race, the thing to watch out for is the other drivers because you're going how many nose wide. You don't know what the other driver is going to do necessarily unless you've got comms with the other driver and they're telling you, hey, I'm going to do this. Will you back me up? or your spotter tells you that they're doing this, you gotta be out there. You gotta have like sets of eyes everywhere, while at the same time focusing on what you're doing. So what I'm gonna try and do is probably just survive for the most part and see where that leads me.
All right. Well, I've actually got 4 separate questions. It's gonna be one question for each one of you, and it's a kind of like a key hitting point based on what's going on for this entire season for each one of you. And so I'm gonna start with you, John. Now, you're a 2-time Snickers Cup Series champion. You won the championship last season. There's been a little bit of a trend that I've noticed that's going on here in the Snickers Cup Series. In Season 3, Trent Whitney won the championship, made the chase in Season 4, but wasn't much of a contender. Season 4, Sean Henley won the championship. Season 5 made the chase, wasn't much of a contender. Are you worried that that might be a case here, that maybe you're not going to be able to close the deal and be a back-to-back champion? Or how much confidence do you have coming into this race, and how hard do you go for it, knowing that you've already got 2 championships and this could be a third one?
Well, to answer the first part about the being worried about making the chase and doing well. I was worried about that early on because we didn't have the best start to the season. But once we got into the chase and started going there, the confidence levels, really peaked. So I'm pretty amped going into Zen Joltis. I think we can realistically do this. The question you had there about closing the... What was the rest of that question, Seth?
About the fact that chaser or former champions the following season haven't exactly done that terribly well.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that I can be the exception to the rule. When they put that little asterisk above the thing, they'll be like, "I'm sorry, it looks like John did it really cool. Like, you should all give him money." So, I'm pretty confident that we can break the year after curse if we want to dub it that.
All right, now Sanford, you started out the season in a Mitsubishi Lancer. The closest you got to victory lane at that point was at Dover, and you ran out of fuel with 2 laps to go. But then you made the change near the second half of the season over to Retro Racing Enterprises, and something just seemed to click. You ended up going to victory lane at Armory. You won at Watkins Glen. That got you into the chase, and then you've just come off your win at Talladega. What was it with that change to the team that just all of a sudden it seemed to kind of make you come to life?
Well, you never really can tell, but I think a lot of it deals with just the chemistry was right there to begin with. Collard was teammates with him last season, so we had that little teamwork aspect already there. Jessica, good friends off the track, and Nick just kind of on the side anyway. But the chemistry just right there from word go, and just really helped get the confidence going quickly, and then, as I say, the rest is history.
Now, I just had one extra question for you before I move on to Michael. Now, heading into Talladega, you pretty much had a Final Four spot locked up. You had 20-point advantage over second place. You really just had to just ride around, stay in the top 10, and you were automatically going to make your way in. But instead, you went to the front, and you won that race. Now, I said after that race that you were making a statement, and I want to get from your own words just exactly why it was that you went that hard to get to victory lane, even though you had already pretty much had a spot already locked up heading into Zen Joltis.
Well, like you said, just making a statement out there that, hey, don't count me out for this title. I'm great on super speedways. See. The other thing was just didn't want to be in the hornet's nest back there and have any shot of actually getting knocked out, honestly, even though, granted, it would have been very hard to have had it happen.
All right, so we're going to move to Michael. Now, Michael, you came in this season with quite an interesting team, a lot of rookies, you and Chris Dollerton, the only 2 veterans on your team. And you made the chase last season, too, but weren't much of a contender. This season, a little bit of touch and go. You got that win at Daytona that got you into the contender round, but then after that, it was kind of a little close there. Just exactly how did you have to kind of prepare yourself each and every race in order to go out there and be able to, just by the skin of your teeth, move into this Final Four? And how nervous did it make you?
Well, I'll tell you something. I was really nervous going into that Talladega race. But after the Daytona win, I got the win finally at my home track in the Nnscra, besides, at least in the Snickers Cup Series wise. So that took a little bit of relief off me for that. But just week after week after the start of the second round of the chase, I was just trying to get good finishes. I was racing or trying to race like there was nothing to lose. Like I was just going good, and that wreck at Ohio didn't really help either when I got spun out when I was having a good race. But just it's just in the mindset really. So I just went out and just had the mindset of finish good. I wasn't even trying to win. I was just trying to get good, decent finishes.
All right, so Brandon, last season, you come in with debuting Mitsubishi Lancer in the Snickers Cup Series. Now, last season, one of your drivers ended up making the chase, that being Joshua Collard, but he was eliminated after the first round. This is the closest that your team has been to winning a championship, and really, it's been a while since you've run full-time in Snickers Cup, this being one of your first seasons back, not including last season. I mean, you've really seemed to take back to this this type of racing, and you had that win at Martinsville, which helped move you into the contender round. So what is your strategy here, knowing that you're really close to getting a manufacturer that really isn't associated with NASCAR into championship victory lane?
I guess my strategy is to try and get to the front mid to late race. That way I'm in the spot where I don't get shuffled out, which is usually the case at super speedways. But at the same time, I don't want to get collected in a bunch of mishaps that can happen rear midfield of the pack. So first half of the race, I'm going to say my strategy is to survive and make sure my car stays as clean as possible, because it would be great for Mitsubishi. And then second half would be getting to the front and staying to the front.
All right, well, I'm going to actually go back in reverse order now, and I'll start with a question here with you, Brandon. Another question. You'd mentioned about staying up there at the front. Now, all four of you are going to be coming in tied in this race. It's basically going to come down to who has the best finish out of the four of you. But with the way that we have the points format, you also have the possibility of bonus points, a point for leading a lap and a point for leading the most laps. So, how soon do you get your car to the front to try and get that bonus point?
Well, I think it really depends on your qualifying position. If you qualify up front, then yeah, you want to get to the lead really soon so you can lead a bunch of laps. But at the same time, if you start out early or if you start out mid to back of the pack, you have that chance of where you can still win even if the other drivers get the bonus point, because in the end it's all about where you end up. And if you don't end up, if you lead a lot of laps but you end up way far out from where you started and the others started way ahead of you, those bonus points don't matter.
Now, Michael, I've seen you so many times at restrictor plate tracks. You always seem to know where to position yourself when it comes down to the final few laps. Here at Zenjoltis, first off, where do you want to be when it comes down to the very end? And how do you position yourself to get in that spot by time that lap, that targeted lap, comes around?
Well, it's a big difference because at Zenjoltis you can it's hard to be in the correct place because the track is incredibly large, so it's going to be a lot of room to pass and a lot of room to try to block yourself as well. So you're talking at least 4 to 5 lanes on a racetrack that you have to try to block all at once. But even just to position yourself right, it's hard to tell whether you want to be leading or not, because as long as you have the help, you'll most likely either be able to take the lead or you'll be able to block it. That's for sure.
Now, Charles, whenever we come to a restrictor plate track, usually drivers are always looking for their teammates. And as far as that's concerned, you come in with a bit of an advantage here in Division 3. Jessica Shelton, Joshua Collard, and Nick Smith all in this division. Now, I know you probably aren't going to want to give too much away, but has there been any team communication in a possibility of Retro Racing Enterprises formation to try and maybe help get you to the front and get you this championship?
Well, we certainly discussed it. But the problem is with it being Zenjoltis and so wide, you can only plan so much, and then we throw the green flag. So, yes, we'd love to work together probably to get up to the front and all that, but no guarantees that's actually going to be able to happen.
Now, John, the two division races, Division 1, Division 2, they're going to be running 10 laps. It'll be a 10-lap dash for them. However, The Division 3 that you guys are in is going to be 20 laps of racing. So how much from the 10-lap races do you think you're going to be able to apply to your 20-lap season finale?
Well, I mean, we have 3 teammate cars in Division 1, so they're going to be running 10 laps on track. They can kind of give us some feedback to us just how the track is running during the day. I mean, it's going to be changing a lot because, I mean, 3 divisions, that takes up a decent amount of time, plus, all the rubber being put on the racetrack. But I think we'll be able to learn a lot from our teammates, and we can apply that to our car. Hopefully, Zenjoltis is kind of a crapshoot, but maybe we can employ some strategy there and be able to get ourselves into a position to win.
Now, here's a question for all 4 of you. It's been pretty well noted that when the chase is going on in Division 3, there's very less amount of cautions than there is in Division 1 and Division 2. And I've been saying that mostly it's because, you guys are in the chase, you don't want to end up wrecking out and ruining a chance of moving on to the next round. Do you think now, with this being the season finale, and there's a championship on the line in this one race, that it's going to be a calmer race than Division 1 and Division 2? Or do you think we're going to see quite a few yellow flags with drivers jockeying a lot harder for position?
Well, Zenjoltis itself is never a calm race. Almost never, but I'm really uncertain. It all depends on what the other drivers on track decide to do. If they're going to go for that victory in their last start for the season, or if they're like, you know what, we know that these 4 are going to be running for the championship. Let's, give them a little bit of breathing room. Let this be a fun race.
I don't expect that at all. It's going to be no different racing in Division 3 than it would be in any other race in Division 3. We're just going to have to take it as we go. I don't see anybody backing off or moving out of the way just for us. So it's going to be a very big crapshoot, I think, and you just got to be the one that comes out on top. So pretty much, it's just the strategy would be just to keep your car clean and make all the right moves.
I definitely agree with Michael's opinion there. And I'd agree that might be a little bit more anxious, I think would be the word I would use, because you have now 38 cars rather than like 20 who aren't in title contention. They know only 4 drivers are, and they do want to get that extra win before going to next season, especially with some of them not running Snickers next season.
I think it all depends on what a bunch of other drivers' mindsets are. If they're really anxious and they try and pull these crazy moves, or they try and split the gap in an extremely tight situation, yeah, there's going to be more cautions because they're more anxious and they're wanting to get there. If they have like a level-headed mind where they can assess the situation, we're going to see more of what we did in the earlier rounds of the chase, where it's been less cautions. It all depends on what where drivers' minds are tonight or tomorrow night, I guess.
My next question actually branches off of a statement that Sanford just made, and that's the fact that he was saying that there are a lot of drivers that aren't returning to Snickers Cup next season. Well, ironically enough, all 4 of you coming back next season in the same exact rides for the same teams that you are driving for this season. So, starting with you, Brandon, how much of an impact for your team heading into Season 10 would it be if you won the championship here in Season 9?
It would give us a big boost in confidence going into next season, because I remember the start of this season from last season, we didn't finish all that well, and we had this huge, cloud hanging over us that, hey, I may have been gone for so long that I don't know how to race with this new chase format and stuff. And then coming into this season, getting that first win at Thornton, and then coming back again with Martinsville, I started just saying, hey, you know what, guys? We may be new with the new racing car, the new team, but we can still get this done. So if we win the season finale, if we just win the championship, not the race itself, just the championship itself, we could go in with the mindset of, we've done this before, we can win this, and we can make this the best season for us. So that's come to pass.
Winning the championship for me, for Michael Norman Motorsports, I think someone put it the other day, said that I would be only the 2nd team owner ever in the Snickers Cup Series to win a championship. So that just puts it in a little bit more perspective. Next the last season of the Snickers Cup Series, my team will be, of course, me, Dougie Shears, Bob Jones, and Chris Dollerton. So I'm going back to a team of which I had from a couple of seasons ago, and it would just be all the more incredible to to bring home a championship to the team for the final season.
Well, it would definitely be a confidence booster for next season if I were able to win the title. But at the same time, the championship also kind of doesn't serve more than just bragging rights till you get to Daytona, because once we get up to Daytona for the 500 next season, no one's going to care if you won the title. I mean, they're going to congratulate you on all that, but it's a brand new season. Everyone starts off square one, even in everything, and you still have to prove that you deserve to be that champion and call yourself the defending champion as well.
If I were to get this third championship, I mean, that would be, moderately impressive because, 3 is a big number. I think that would be a huge momentum boost going into the final season, which is already going to be, a really special and somber one since it's going to be the last one. But I'm hoping that, this championship goes well and that we can, win it.
All right, gonna give this question a start with John. If you win the championship, what would then be the next thing on your checklist heading into the final season of Snickers Cup?
We'll see. Well, the final season of Snickers Cup, I would probably have to say win the 4th championship. Because wouldn't that be something? I just swept the last 3. But, yeah, I mean, that's essentially what's going to happen. We're going to win. If we win the championship, we're going to, have the after party, which you're all invited to, by the way.
Yay!
Yay. Party in the Watkins Glen Sand Trap.
Yeah.
And after, yeah, all right. Yeah, build sandcastles. But
look for shells.
Once that party's done and I wake up on someone else's futon, then we're going to go right to the garage and get ready for next year to try and win that championship. So...
Well, Sanford, you've won a 500.
Oh.
You also, if you could win the championship, then what would be next for you for trying to do for the final season?
Well, easily for me, the one thing I have not done yet is win at Auto Club for Snickers. So that would be next on my list.
How about you, Michael?
I apologize. What was the question?
If you won the championship here tomorrow night, then what would be the next thing on your checklist that you'd want to get done before the season ends of Season 10?
Same thing as I believe Charles Sanford said. It would be to win the Daytona 500.
Nowhere close
No,
to the
that
same
was
thing
not
I
what he
said.
said. He said to win
No,
an Auto
it's
Club.
exactly what he said.
He's already won the 500.
Michael had his after party beforehand.
Yeah, I will be I will have a beer in my freaking car, and if I'm coming to the checkered flag as the champion, I will drink it.
Aha.
Oh.
After you stop driving, of course.
No, I'm just kidding.
Then
But,
you get a 25-point penalty for driving while intoxicated and lose the championship.
You don't get intoxicated by one drink. But no,
Some people do.
Depends on the drink.
no, I ain't no lightweight. But no, but my goal would be after that to be after that would be to win the Daytona 500 because that's the only thing left in Nnscra that I have yet to do. I mean, I am an Nnscra Hall of Famer. I have multiple wins in each of the divisions or each of the series, and so the only thing left on the list would be to win the Daytona 500.
Brandon, if you won the championship, what'd be next on your list before Season 10 ends out?
Well, wishfully, though probably unrealistically, win the Daytona 500. But the more realistic goal for the next season would be to finish off with a win in the final season at the track where I started in the very first season at Talladega. That would actually be, in my opinion, the most important win, is if I could win at Dega where I got my first win on the final season.
All right, so that's going to actually end it up for the questions I have concerning the championship battle as Anjoltas for Snickers Cup. But I want to get some expert advice from you guys concerning the Mobile One Cup Series. There are 4 drivers that are in the hunt mathematically for that championship, and of course, for those of you that didn't hear it at the beginning, that season finale will be on at 7 o'clock Eastern tonight. We've got Trent Dunham, we got Charles, your sister, Jean Sanfer, we've got Cody Lamas, who's the long shot driver, and then the guy that's leading the points heading into the season finale is actually the Last of Us Light Series winner, the champion from that series, Ty Dent. So 4 very interesting drivers there atop the point standings that are going to be in the hunt for this championship. We'll start with Michael on this one. Who are you looking at to be the favorite heading into this, and who do you think is going to close the deal and be the champion of Season 9?
Well, I've seen him do it in the Last of Us Light series, so I'm going to go with Ty Dent on this one. He knows how to close it, and I think he'll be the one to walk away with the Mobile One Cup Series Championship.
It's not a bad pick because also Ty Dent in his rookie season also made the Snickers Cup Series chase, even though he was eliminated early. Brandon, what do you think?
Even though that's a good point that he knows how to close it in the Last of Us Light series, I don't think Ty Dent's going to win it because of the fact that Mobile One Cup Series cars are so much different. So I'm going to go with the long shot, Cody Lamas.
All right, Sanford, it's going to be interesting to find out who you're going with, especially since there probably won't be any family bias in your pick, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's actually one reason why I'll definitely be talking to Gene before the Division 3 race. I'd love to see Gene be able to get it. She's been a staple of consistency pretty much during the chase a little bit. Some bad runs, but everyone's had them. I'd say probably my pick, just because of his experience, would be Trent Dunham.
All right, so Trent Dunham, the former Mobile Cup Series champion. John, who are you looking at?
Well, they're all really good competitors, but I think I'm going to go for Jean Sanford. I think she can do it.
Wow,
I believe in her.
4 drivers, and they all pick 4 different drivers.
The reason I didn't pick Trent is because of his super speedway luck.
Aha. Well, that's Daytona, though.
No, it's on at least for me, it's every super speedway.
I think Trent's got a couple Mobile One Cup Series wins at Dega, and I think he won a summer race at Daytona, so he can win, but not the initial Daytona race. That Daytona 500 plagues him. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little thing. This was actually an idea that was put together by Michael Norman, so Michael, thank you for the idea. It was a great idea.
You're welcome. It just came to me, you know. These things come to me like that.
Yes. And so, hopefully you guys... Oh, what?
Speaking of which, Seth, will I be able to get you to do your voiceover things today?
Possibly, yeah.
Cool.
All right, so...
I'm also going to need rendered pictures of each of our chase cars, if you don't mind that, too.
Okay.
And you're so needy.
Yeah.
I know.
Something with it.
Give it
Yeah,
to me now!
gimme. That's all you think about, Michael.
It's my audio clips, and I need them now!
Hey!
Wait a minute, what is this? Is it? I didn't realize that this was what is that company that does those commercials?
I don't remember.
G.G. Wentworth.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
J.G. Wentworth commercials. It's my money and I need it now. All right. So,
Well, Seth's broke too. Okay.
yeah. I actually am broke, but that's beside the point. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little press conference. I want to thank Brandon, Michael, Charles, and John for joining me for this. It was great talking to you guys and great to get a little bit of insight on what your guys' strategy is heading into the season finale. And I want to wish all 4 of you equally luck on that race. And out of one of you 4, it's going to be a champion heading into season 10. So I want to wish you guys the best of luck.
I just want to say in advance that if we win the championship, 3% off at the Citadino Ed Motorsports store.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm getting my
I win
diecast in if that happens.
If I win the championship, there's going to be beer for everybody who's in attendance. And I mean everybody.
I'm not the team owner, so I can't promise anything.
Well, I was gonna say probably for Sanford it'll be 5% off at the Retro Racing Enterprises store if you use the promo code Squishy.
That might be. I mean, we'd have to talk to the team owner. I'm the only team owner not in the championship contention.
Come on, dude, get yourself a team.
Yeah.
S3 Motorsports, come
Squishy
on.
Motorsports. That doesn't sound weird at all. All right.
If I win, I'm going to give everyone a free diecast car in attendance to the after party, plus free attendance for an after party, because why not?
Oh.
There you go. All right, so hope that you guys are going to be enjoying the season finales that will be coming out here. Again, 7 p.m. Eastern tonight is the Mobile One Cup Series season finale from Zenjoltis. By the way, NSRA mandating that they are allowed to go below the double yellow line onto the apron to make passes in that race, so that should be quite a shakeup. Yeah.
Oh.
And then, of course, the Snickers Cup Series season finale, Divisions 1 and 2, 10 laps, Division 3, where the championship's on the line, 20 laps. That will be airing at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. So one more time, guys, thanks for joining me here for this very elite press conference.
No problem.
No problem.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Now, if you excuse us, Mr. Seth Cole, we have to go out and practice.
All right, yeah, get out there and practice wrecking. Wait, what? Okay. So anyway, thanks,
Seth
guys.
has so much faith in us.
I do.
Come on.
I've got a lot of faith in you guys. Yeah. All right. No, I don't have. I have faith in you guys. I don't have faith in Zenjoltis. Zenjoltis kills people.
So what's gonna happen if all four of us wreck?
If all four of you
It's
wreck,
the
it's
highest finisher.
the highest finisher that wrecks.
No, we're all gonna play rock paper scissors.
The championship decided on
How do you
rock
play
paper
rock
scissors.
paper scissors with 4 people?
You try.
You try, yeah.
It's rock paper scissors lizard.
And
right?
then if there's a tiebreaker, then it's duck duck goose.
Oh man.
Wait,
We
shouldn't
gotta
the rock,
film
paper,
that
scissors
one.
be shouldn't rock paper scissors be the tiebreaker?
There's more people, Thornton or Zenjoltis. Question coming up on Dateline C.
They really need a wall there at Thornton. My God.
Yeah, they do.
Well, that is going to be the pool of death, so they're trying to comfort the ball a little bit.
That's true.
The tiebreaker goes to whoever can survive the fall off the turn of death.
The tiebreaker is pistols at 20 paces.
Oh,
One.
wait a minute. That's so harsh. That's a little harsh.
Oh man.
Welcome
All
to
right.
NSCRA early 1900s Western duels.
Yes, indeed.
No. Whoever
Yeah.
wins the game of town of
Set the
Salem.
Gatorade duels
We
on
regret to
people.
inform that 3 of our 4 championship competitors from last season were unable to make the Daytona 500 due to unforeseen circumstances. calling hours tonight at 7.
Uh,
All right, so this press conference completely disintegrated. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and
Anarchy.
yeah, and be sure to tune in for the season finales coming up at 7 o'clock tonight and tomorrow. I don't know how many times I've said that. I think I've drilled it into their heads. So anyway, all right, so thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
you're welcome.
See you later.
See ya.
Later.
He said, we'll see you later like 5 times too.